Welcome to This Explainer. We're jumping straight into an absolutely epic human journey today. We're talking about one of the most profound, deeply moving privileges you can ever experience, guiding the next generation. We're going to unpack the philosophy behind helping young people figure out not just what they should do with their lives, but who they actually are. So buckle up, because what we're talking about today literally has the power to shape entire legacies.
Now, I want you to picture this. You're 15, maybe 16 years old. You're sitting in a tiny wooden boat, absolutely surrounded by the turbulent, crashing waves of modern culture, intense societal expectations and peer pressure. The sky's pitch black, the waves are terrifyingly high, and worst of all, you have zero anchor, nothing holding you steady. This is the silent, staggering reality for so many young people right now. They're trying to navigate life's fiercest storms, completely unanchored, just getting battered by every passing current. It's a deeply human struggle, and it's exactly why we're here today.
So how do we actually help them? Well, it requires a massive shift in how we think. See, we usually treat kids like blank slates, right? Like it's our job as adults to just write a script onto them. But here's the thing, they aren't blank slates at all. Every single young soul already carries this hidden masterpiece inside them. It's like this divine architecture, a completely unique pattern of gifts, passions, and purpose woven into them before they ever made a single choice. Our job isn't to build them from scratch, it's to help reveal the masterpiece that's already there.
And when we start revealing that architecture, we stumble onto something truly profound. Their calling. And look, calling isn't just a career path or a weekend hobby. It's a sacred crossroads. It's that exact, beautiful intersection where their deepest, most honest self-knowledge meets a real, profound need in the world. It's where their specific quirks and strengths perfectly match a void in creation that only they are shaped to fill. Finding it, that takes courage to look inward and a whole lot of humility to look upward.
But let's pause for a second. What if we just ignore all this? What if that teenager just keeps drifting in that little boat? The tragedy of missing your calling almost never looks like a loud, dramatic explosion. It's way more insidious than that. It's invisible, but devastating. It's this quiet, low hum of always feeling just a little bit out of place. It's arriving in your 30s or 40s and having this aching feeling that you missed something essential. Because if a young person doesn't have an anchor, the world will happily step in and fill that void with hollow expectations and loud consumer identities.
We're literally looking at a fork in the road here. Two completely divergent trajectories for a human life. On one hand, you have the undiscovered design, the silent loss, the endless drifting, making decisions by default. But on the other hand, you have the compass of identity. When a young person locks into their design early on, that identity becomes a steadfast compass. Confusion turns into this radiant confidence. Drift turns into intentional, focused alignment of their subjects, their friendships, and their opportunities. It becomes a lifelong safeguard against just wandering aimlessly.
Remember that terrifying storm we talked about earlier? Well, here is your antidote. When a youth knows their calling, they don't just magically make better choices. They make choices from a totally different center of gravity. They carry a heavy iron anchor now. Does calling insulate them from the storms of life? No, of course not. The failures, the temptations, the identity crises, those waves are still going to crash over them. But discovering their purpose acts as a gravitational anchor, keeping them steady in the exact same waters that might capsize their peers.
And that brings us right to you, the guide, the parent, the teacher. Helping a young person uncover this isn't just handing out casual advice, it's a sacred weight. When you step into a kid's life to help them find their way, you are literally holding a key that can unlock a lifetime of purpose and fulfillment for another human being. Honestly, it's a breathtaking privilege to be invited into their story, and it's a weight we need to carry with deep reverence, wisdom, and a whole lot of love.
Now I know what you might be thinking. It's so easy to feel this immense pressure to be the architect of their life, right? Stressing out, trying to draft the perfect master plan for them. But take a deep breath. You are not the architect. You're the archaeologist. Your job is simply to take a brush and incredibly patiently sweep away all the dust, the noise, the societal pressure, and the false identities to reveal the ancient glowing truth that was already carved underneath. You're just helping them dust off their own divine signature.
And to be an archaeologist of the soul, we have to choose companionship over control. We can't dictate the path, and we definitely can't project our own unfulfilled dreams onto them. Instead, we have to become mirrors of grace. That means listening deeply, observing closely, and just reflecting back the beam of light that is already shining inside of them. By validating what's already there, we offer true companionship, rather than a controlling hand trying to force them into a mold.
When you step up and become that mirror, you are handing them gifts beyond measure. We're not just talking about information. You're giving them incredibly powerful psychological and spiritual tools. You give them a vocabulary, a way to finally name those stirrings they've always felt but couldn't articulate. You give them absolute permission to just be exactly who they are. You give them a framework to see their suffering as formation rather than punishment. You give their discipline a reason because now their gifts have a destination. And most beautifully, you give them a tether to God, reminding them they were thought about long before they ever arrived.
There is an actual, literal currency to this kind of transformation. It starts with your inputs, using your eyes to truly see their hidden potential, your words to call it out, and the most valuable currency of all, your time. That investment creates what we call a crucible exchange, where the young person finally hears and believes, wow, I matter. My design is actually worth noticing. And the output of that exchange? It's nothing short of miraculous. True, deep-rooted confidence is born. They finally learn to trust that quiet voice inside.
And then, oh man, then it happens. The moment of recognition. There is a sacred, almost breathless hush when a young person finally gets it, when all those scattered puzzle pieces of their identity just click together into this brilliant spark of light. It's pure alchemy. It's where the ordinary suddenly becomes holy, and their internal spark meets their future destiny. For us guides, our only job in that blinding, radiant moment is to stand back in absolute awe, honor the space, and gently help them step forward. But let's be real. An awakening like that rarely just happens by chance. It needs a catalyst. And that is exactly where the Wise Up methodology steps in. Think of it like 3 crystalline lenses. One provides the clarity to see their unique pattern, one offers the reflection to validate their internal compass, and the last provides courageous guidance to spur them into action. By creating a highly structured environment, Wise Up takes all that scattered and visible potential of a youth and focuses it into an intense, intentional beam of destiny. It quite literally makes the invisible visible. Which brings us to our final hurdle, the sacred bravery. Because look, knowing your design is only half the journey. Actually stepping onto that glowing upward staircase into the unknown, that takes immense courage. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the intentional decision to move forward anyway, trusting your internal compass. So whether you are the young person searching for your path or the guide holding the lantern for them, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Are you ready to embrace the sacred bravery required to actually become exactly who you were created to be? This explainer forms part of the Wise Up collection. For more information, please WhatsApp on 071-957-5853 or visit www.wiseupkeytoyou.com.